E aí pessoal, bem-vindos ao canal Amigo Gringo, eu sou o Seth, estou aqui em quarentena no meu apartamento em Nova York. Tá perdendo as lives que estou fazendo pelo Insta, tem que se inscrever no Insta da gente, seu Amigo Gringo. Mas antes de fazer isso, vídeo bem bom hoje, porque vamos tentar resolver algumas das maiores rixas entre o seu país, o Brasil, e o meu país, os Estados Unidos. Quem inventou o avião? A pessoa dos Estados Unidos deveria se chamar de americano. O sistema SUS é melhor do que o sistema de saúde norte-americano, muito criticado. Bom, como vamos resolver isso? Não comigo. Eu sou dos Estados Unidos, né? E não com vocês, que vocês são brasileiros. Vamos chamar alguém de um país que não faz parte dessa disputa, o Canadá. Vamos falar com o professor do Cambly. O que é Cambly, para quem não sabe, é quase impossível não saber, mas é a plataforma que conecta os estudantes de inglês com professores nativos por internet, por vídeo, e eles podem ajudar com qualquer assunto de inglês ou podem simplesmente conversar sobre coisas interessantes, tipo quem inventou o avião. Quem quer testar o Cambly pode usar o código do canal Gringo, aula grátis. Isso é só baixando o aplicativo do Cambly no iPhone, no Android, ou entrar no cambly.com, como eu fiz agora com o meu computador, que está embaixo da câmera. Claro que também tem link na descrição se você quer entrar diretamente sem usar o código. Vamos falar com nosso amigo, o Dan, já apareceu no canal algumas vezes, ele é ótimo. Só quero falar que o Dan é meio inocente nisso. Ele não sabe como se sentem os brasileiros, como o orgulho que sentem por Santos Dumont, por exemplo. Os canadenses são super simpáticos. E vamos ser simpáticos e tolerantes com ele, porque é meio uma armadilha que estou fazendo. Ele vai falar algumas coisas controversas, provavelmente, né? Ok, vou conectar com ele por Cambly agora!
Hey, Seth, we're back again. Nice to see you.
Hey, Dan, great to see you again. Where are you?
I'm in Cuernavaca, Mexico.
Oh, the first Mexican city I ever visited, by the way.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and just remind us, you've been living down there for a while, but you are from...
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
So, Dan, that was all a great introduction, but we brought you here on a very serious matter. I have some disagreements with Brazilians on a number of matters. And I'm hoping that as a Canadian, you know, Canada has a reputation of being a cool and dispassionate.
You know, Canadians are good people, and I think we have good characteristics and good qualities, and I think all the good things that people hear about Canadians, I see them myself through different eyes than I did when I lived there.
So when Brazil comes to mind, what are your thoughts?
Well, before Cambly, before I talked to people on Cambly, I thought of it as a very hot tropical country, which I know still it is. You know, it's just like, I guess, a lot of Brazilians or Americans or people from all over the world think Canada is, you know, cold. And I tell them in the summer it can be, 40 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, but I say 40 degrees Celsius, and they can't believe it. So I was surprised when I talked to people from Cambly, from Brazil on Cambly, and they would tell me, they'd say it's cold, and even occasionally in the south they get snow, and so it's not as tropical as I thought, at least at some times of the year and in some places. But I know they have crazy hot dogs.
Really? That's interesting that you know that. Okay.
I've heard about the hot dogs. I get confused between Brazil and India. One has 26 states and one has 32. Brazil has 32?
I believe it's 26. Let's get down to this. Are you a feet and inches kind of a guy or a centimeters and meters kind of a guy?
I talk about this with people on Cambly all the time. Your system is crazy. The metric system is just so much more logical. Everything is ones and zeros. Mm-hmm. You've got 1 millimeter, and then there are 10 millimeters in a centimeter, and then 100 centimeters in a meter, and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. It's very simple.
The other way is simple too. A mile is 5,280 feet. What could be more simple than that?
Why not 5,281? Yeah, why are there 12 inches in a foot?
What do you in Canada call people from the United States?
American.
Brazilians use that too, but they're often offended that people from the United States call themselves Americans. Do you in Canada feel the same way? Should we be called Americans or should we have a different word?
I think as a demonym, Americans is good, because the way I see it, if you're watching like some kind of international sporting event, the Olympics or the World Cup or something, they refer to me as Canadian, and then they refer to people from Brazil as Brazilians, and the people from Russia are Russians. What else can they say besides American? They can't say United Statesian, or, there's nothing else.
So if I make the argument that a Brazilian would make, like, well, you can't call yourselves Americans because we're also Americans.
I remember I had a friend from Detroit, and I was out with him once years ago, and we were at a bar and we were drinking, and I said something about, joking around. I said, you Americans. And he said, oh, you're American too, because you're from Canada. And I understood his point, but realistically, I would never refer to myself as an American. What does bother me a little bit, it just rubs me the wrong way, is when Americans, people from the United States, when they refer to their country as America. Just because as a country, ever since I was a kid, I don't think I ever called it America. I think I either called it the States, we call it the States, or the United States. But, sometimes when I hear Americans say, like I live in America, or I hear people say, here in America, we do this. It just, like I said, it just rubs me the wrong way.
You know what? I think I agree with you. I don't really think I call my country America ever, because that's not really the name of it. It's you can say the United States, so why not say the United States? The adjective or the demonym norte-americano in Portuguese actually refers to people from the United States.
Okay, because otherwise you would say Canadian or Mexican, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I guess, at least for me, the term North American, it's kind of unnecessary, because you could either say I'm Canadian or I'm Mexican. Maybe for Brazilians, it's more clear to say North America. I'm North American.
According to you, or to Canadians, who invented the airplane?
I've never heard of anybody inventing the airplane other than Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers.
What the Brazilians would say is that Alberto Santos Dumont invented the airplane. There's two main arguments they give. The Wright brothers' flights clearly happened earlier. The question was what they flew defined as an airplane because of the way it took off using assisted... if you listen to a Brazilian, they'll say a catapult. They used a catapult, sort of like a little wind-up thing. They also sent it on a rail down a hill, and then it took off. So there is some controversy. The Wright brothers flew 40 miles on one flight. Santos Dumont flew in an officially sanctioned flying competition in Paris in front of judges with no assistance in taking off, and flew about 100 meters and then landed.
All right, so each one has their argument.
Usually what I like to say is that nothing is ever invented by one person. You might say that the Wright brothers flew 40 miles before anyone else did. You might say that Santos Dumont flew in front of the first board of judges who officially declared this flight to be an airplane. But nobody ever invents anything alone. It's always a sort of a collective effort. People are watching each other.
Yeah, they're lifting each other's ideas.
Can't we just all get along, Brazilians? A gente não pode viver em paz. Vivir em paz, if you know what I'm saying.
Live in peace.
For you, is America one continent or two continents?
In Canada, we were taught that there were 7 continents. Asia, Europe, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, North America, and South America. Now, Central America, I don't know what that is. I don't know where they fit into the equation, but it's all, we're all part of, again, what you would call America. But it just makes it easier if you can divide it into North America and South America.
American football or futebol, or football, I guess, as the Mexican would say. Which is the better sport?
I guess that's very, very personal. I love American football. It's one of my favorite things. I love sitting down on a Sunday and watching American football. I maybe should keep my opinion to myself because you have a lot of Brazilian viewers.
Only Brazilian viewers.
I will say I don't like the culture of football. I don't like the faking and the diving and the hands up. They kick a guy in the head, and then when the referee shows them, a card, they go, "Oh, what? I didn't do anything."
All of these other things, I see both sides to the argument. This one, I have no defense for the Brazilians. And really, I'm talking about Sao Paulo. I don't know if this is true everywhere. Pizza in Sao Paulo comes with olives on it, whether you ask for them or not. That is horrific. What do you think?
Olives are one of the most disgusting things I think I've ever tasted in my life.
That's exactly right.
I worked in a pizzeria when I was a teenager, and I remember we had these giant cans of olives, either black or green. I think we had both. And we had to drain them before you could serve them. I remember the smell coming up as I poured them down the drain. It actually made me gag. The smell of the olives was so bad.
It would be fine with me if you could order olives. It's a democracy. You can't just give people olives.
They just do it without even thinking.
Right.
That's like in Mexico, it's automatic that everything comes with jalapenos.
Universal health care? Should every country have universal health care for their citizens like Brazil does? Or should we have a system like the U.S. does?
The U.S. system doesn't seem to work. I don't understand why a country as big and as rich and as powerful and as important as the United States has so many people that go broke for their life. They might have to have some kind of surgery when they're 30 or 40 years old, and they're still paying for it, till the day they die. The way Canada works is people call it free. It's not free. You pay for it through taxes, and then when you need it, it's there.
Final question. The Brazilians use as their principal means of communication by cell phone WhatsApp. Americans use good old-fashioned text messages. Which do you prefer?
Oh, I can't tell you the last time I sent a text message. Text message is like from 10 years ago.
I mean, It makes no sense, just in the same way that using feet and inches makes no sense. But yet we still do it. I think we're just this self-involved...
You just don't like change.
Ok, o que vocês acharam controverso, polêmico? Mandem seus comentários lá embaixo e, claro, entre em contato com o Dan pelo Cambly se quer discutir com ele pessoalmente em inglês, pessoal. Ok, não esqueça o código. O Dan volta para Amigo Gringo Responde na sexta-feira para participar brevemente na semana que vem, mas vocês podem mandar suas dúvidas para mim também e eu vou tentar responder. Até a próxima!